T'es au courant de la fille dans le tunnel? Les parents qui ont disparu.
Just dropped off the little girl from the tunnel. She's in a bad way.
Ils veulent Elise. Et Karl.
Keep pushing forward with me.
Terrorism?
We don't know yet.
In the first series, two different bodies at the midpoint in the tunnel was a brilliant, brilliant way to start a series set between two different countries. And it took Ben, our showrunner, a while to think what would be different but equally arresting as a kick-off point for series 2.
We chose this idea of a plane that more or less is brought down between the two countries.
We've lost control of our instruments. It's like somebody else is flying the plane.
It's not just a crash, it's that the debris from the crash opens up immediately, very dramatically, a whole range of possible stories.
Set and action.
On a trié les passagers, ceux sur lesquels on se concentre dans l'immédiat et...
We needed to find a baddie who is the Baroque equal of TT, but who's completely different. Ben came up with a really brilliant Russian doll structure.
What you have is a number of people who have different motives and different reasons for doing what they do, and you start from the smallest and then you find it's another bigger one and a bigger one and a bigger one, going right up the scale.
TT's motivation was very intense and personal, and we've done something very different this series.
We will fight every attempt to dominate our minds and our bodies. We are defense. You will hear from us again.
It's been great to be back and be back with Elise again and work with Stephen again and discover a whole sort of new side of the two of them.
Maybe you don't know me as well as you think.
I like the scenes where Elise and I can play our relationship. It's great fun.
Tomorrow we were supposed to be tested for our personality types.
ENFJ, I'd say, a giver, fun-loving, popular and sensitive, outstanding people skills.
Okay, you're teasing me now.
Yes, I suppose I am.
I think Elise falls in love for the first time and doesn't quite understand what's happening to her and starts, as you do when you fall in love, making very irrational decisions, which is exactly what she shouldn't be doing. And what's interesting is what it then creates in the relationship she has with Karl, because she was the one, season 1, kind of saying, "What are you doing?" And all of a sudden, he's the one saying, "What's going on?"
I've done nothing wrong.
All right.
No, you've shown how little you respect and trust me.
A year or so has passed. Karl obviously is grieving the loss of his son Adam. He spent 6 months on compassionate leave and another 6 months in the public protection unit, away from the front line of investigating.
Karl Roebuck, Public Protection Unit.
Hello, Karl Roebuck, Public Protection Unit. This is a real police officer speaking.
Oh, very good, baby.
He's just at the beginning of this series on the turn and hankering for the excitement of the old job and the thrills of detection.
Come back to CID, Karl. That's where you belong.
Our story, it reaches beyond even Europe, and it's very international this year. We've got Americans, we've got Dutch actor, Belgian actors. It's a really, truly international cast.
We are a British crew and have a French unit as well. We go and shoot in France for about a quarter of every couple of episodes.
We had 4 directors and 2 British directors and 1 French director, 1 Flemish director, and that's been quite interesting. I feel like we learn a lot from each other.
It's been really, really great. Just getting opportunities to work with French actors and Belgian actors.
Robert is a Belgian guy, a radical atheist, who decides that the world needs atheist terrorism.
Nothing has led to more bloodshed than religion.
He seduces Rosa and brainwashes her into his political ideas, and she goes along with him.
Oh, Rosa, she's got a very tough exterior, but a vulnerable side And that vulnerable side has a lot to do with her father, Sonny.
And I wasn't always very much of a dad. Sonny, to me, are those older brothers who awakened our political awareness back in the 60s.
Professor Sonny Purso, well.
Yeah, sorry, his name means nothing to me.
Radical American academic. He was very close to the Panthers for a while, never joined them.
I think Ben, our writer, was very interested in the idea of how does someone raised in a very stimulating intellectual environment come to make these terrible, terrible choices and decisions.
There is a definite move in the second series, both in scale and style. I mean, there is probably enough action in the first 2 episodes as there was in, you know, a good half of the first series. It's got a pace to it and it's got an energy to it.
We've got a whole big plane sequence. We've got to crash a plane in the ocean. And today what we're doing is we're doing the cockpit sequence where the pilots are actually struggling with the controls, trying to regain control of the plane, but they don't, of course, and it goes flying down into the channel.
We went out and filmed with an aerial photographer. He took his plane out over the sea. That gave us the footage that we could then play back on the day, rather than having to use green screen and do it all in post, which is obviously a lot more expensive.
We also have another set, which is the interior of a plane, which is a cabin, which is a sort of truncated version of a cabin, where we actually see our passengers and see how they react to the fact that the plane starts vibrating and is going to fall out of the sky. Both of these sets are static, so that basically we have to sort of simulate the sense of flight and movement. We're doing that by putting lights on cranes, so we see light moving in and out of the windows. The plane crash itself happens in the first couple of episodes, and then basically the rebuilding of that plane goes across all 8.
Mike Barker talked a lot about using the plane as an image and using the debris as an image throughout the whole series.
The challenge really with them was to go and buy a plane. We purchased bits and pieces and we reassembled pretty much a full-size passenger plane, the kind of thing that you'd be used to taking on your holidays to Europe.
There were moments where we were looking at everyone doing this sort of like tiny work of trying to put everything back together. And I just thought it was a very moving thing to witness somehow.
The big finale on episode 4 is the raid on the police station. Rosa and Thibault, having lost their patience with Elise, turn to violence.
It's packed with anger, emotion, vulnerability from Rosa's end. I lose control and I whack her with my gun.
That was a stunt done with a rubber gun, a very simple old way of doing it. Rosa hits Elise over the head. We then cut to a shot where Elise's head has been dressed with blood.
It's never nice to hit people. It's, you know, when you reflect back on it, you're like, oh no, it's me. I don't actually want to do this. But when you look back at it on the camera, it looks really cool and really badass.
The car crash came about in discussion with our director. We wanted to do it in a way that was exciting and dynamic, in the way that this show should be. One of the things that we started talking about was car crashes and staying as close as we possibly could with the character, which is when we came up with this idea of being inside the car at the moment of the crash.
I never thought I would experience a thing like that. Yeah, it was great, yeah. You feel the impact, all right, yeah. You feel, it's like, but you're strapped so good and so secure.
The scale of it is incredible. Makes you up your game, do you know what I mean?
I enjoyed it a lot. It's cinema, you know?
The cast, the crew are just incredible.
I like that it's different countries working together to tell a story.
This time they've gone for the worldwide impact of these stories.
I'll send my family away if I have to, but I'm not walking away. Not this time.
The tunnel sabotage combines all the real action and thrills of a proper, tense, investigative thriller. And yet it's also really funny and dry and has absolutely its own humour all the way through it.
It was pretty tough last night.
I'm okay.
Yeah?
Gail took me out to a gig.
How was it?
It was a release.
Yeah, music can do that sometimes.
I didn't like the music very much, but we had sex in the car on the way home.
It's just been a hell of a ride.
It's political, it's complex, it's moral, it's emotional. But most importantly, thrillers are nothing unless they're exciting. And most importantly, I think it's exciting.